so just appreciate everybody being here. Just excited for this team. They continue to grow. I think, to grow is to change. I think they continue to evolve this year and get better. They've been pretty consistent in practice, and I think that's why we've gotten better. We've had we've certainly had some ebbs and flows, ups and downs during the course of the season, but I think right now, when you look at this team, they've had a lot of great wins on the road, and that says something about a team that can go on the road and win. Obviously, we've got a big one. The next one's always the big one tomorrow night, and we need to play well. I think you look at TCU, and they've got a lot of different players now playing. Still got a pro in Lauren Hurd, but they've got some other kids that are playing at a real high level, and they played Baylor. I watched both those films last night, a time and a half, and played them really well. 3-point game at halftime, both games, in Waco and at home. And I know I do. It's my job to impart on our players now, but I have tremendous respect for TCU, their program, and their players, and we're going to have to play well. If anything, you can say, in contrast to how we've been on the road, is we've kind of at times a while back struggled at home. We haven't lately. We've played pretty well, but this team, I'm excited for them because I think there's, they can do something really special. We keep talking about it. We've got 3 left in regular season, but man, there's a lot to play for. And sometimes they don't, when you're young, what you don't know doesn't hurt you. And I'm going to tell them today, some things, and I want them to know, hey, this is your opportunity, and you can't take it for granted because there's no guarantee you'll ever be in this position again. There's just not. In athletics, things happen, and so you really have to embrace the opportunities that you get. And certainly it's our plan to be this way every year, right? But right now, I just want them to embrace it. And again, realize everybody's coming for Texas. You're going to get everybody's best shot. Everybody's going to have their 2 best days of practice before you play them. So we've got to be ready. But I think this team has kind of embraced that a little bit. And so, again, excited about the opportunity tomorrow night here in Irwinson.
Because of the format, first 2 rounds on home sites, it's unrealistic to think that's not at some point part of your thinking in the success, but it's so far down the road, so it's kind of a little bit of a tug of war, I guess.
It is. I'm not going to I'm always worried about the next one, so I'm worried about TCU, but I do think as you get toward the end of the regular season, there's things in your vision that are possible. And if that's what you need to motivate yourself, or if that's what you need to realize, hey, we're kind of in some rare air here, we need to take advantage of that, then that's what you do. And I want our kids to understand where we are and what the opportunities are. And at the same time, I've said this before, I think what we've been able to do here during this winning streak is we've identified and we've been able to develop some consistency with certain players. We still have some that night in and night out, or sometimes they're real good, sometimes not. But we have in the streak, we've been able to develop some consistency with certain players, and we've got 5, 6, or 7 that are night in, night out. I know what I'm going to get from them, and that's what you got to have if you're going to be a really good team. You got to have some people you can rely on.
Rori or Shay, what's kind of been working for this team during this 5-game winning streak?
I think we've gotten a lot more locked in on defense. I think he's always said that we're not going to win games 78 to 80. It's going to probably be in the 60s or 50s. So I think focusing on that has really helped us the past 5 games, and just playing really hard. I think that's where it all starts.
I would add on to that, to the offensive side, that we're flowing the offense a little bit. A lot of teams like to play a zone because they realized at first we were a little stagnant, but we're now attacking and looking for the open spots on the court. So I would say our offense is definitely flowing a lot better.
Do you feel this team is peaking right now, or is there still room to grow and transcend?
There's always room to grow and transcend, and we are getting to that point right now. I would say, like I said, like in previous press conferences, a lot of people have asked, like, do you think the team is like starting to come together? And we definitely are, but we have so much more room to grow, and we have a lot more season left. So.
Shay, coach talked about you staying locked in whether it was playing with the guys to stay on the floor, or, your minutes, and then now all of a sudden you're nearly 27 minutes a game the last 4 games. What has changed for you mentally, physically? Have you seen anything?
I think like nothing has really changed, which is sort of why I'm in the position. Like he always says, stay ready. Like you never know when your number's gonna get called. So I think just being consistent, and yeah, now I'm playing more, but I'm not changing anything that I've done in practice, or I'm not gonna, just because I've gotten some reward or success doesn't mean I'm not gonna do the same thing in practice or outside practice.
Has your game evolved to earn the reward and the success? Coach talked about the loose balls, defense, speed. Then you had that play against K-State where clearly you were the fastest player on the floor on a loose ball. Is that all kind of part of it?
Yeah, I think like my game's starting to come together. Definitely, I've had a lot of growing that I needed to do, just with ball handling and shooting. I'm just trying to like get in extra with the coaches when I can. So I think just confidence is also part of it too. Just believing that I can do it and just playing loose too.
Vic, Lauren was pretty hard on herself after the first Texas Tech game. I think she said in the UTRGV presser that she felt she played soft in that game. Where do you feel how she's played since then? I mean, she's got Aoka twice and held her own, had a good game against TCU the first time. Where has she kind of gone since that Tech game?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. She's one of the reasons why we're having the success we're having right now. The thing about Lauren, you don't have to bring any help for her. She can handle whoever she's dealing with pretty much by herself, one-on-one. We don't have to bring a double. We've had a plan in place both times with Aoka where, okay, we bring this one from this area, or we bring this one from this area, or heck, we bring everybody, but we haven't had to do that. And a lot of credit goes to her because she's been able to handle herself. But I think really where I see her improvement too is her ability to finish. She's constantly battling on every rebound. She's had some really good big number nights. But more, I think too, it's not the one she gets so much, it's the one she keeps the other team from getting. And so, again, she's just kind of been that, she kind of controls the paint for us a little bit, which is what you want out of that position. And, in this day and age, y'all, there's so many teams that have these, they don't really have true fives, right? And just like the other night in the Kansas State game, you had 2 true fives going at it and competing. And I think with Lauren, number one, she's worked on her free throws, so she's shooting them at a much better clip. She made a free throw jumper the other night at K-State. Really comfortable with that shot. And again, she just, I've seen a change in her demeanor, I think, over the last month. Just her overall self. And so I think she's reaping the rewards of that. And again, you're exactly right. The reason we are as successful as we are right now, one of them, is because she's playing at a real high level.
Vic, how proud are you of the way the team's handled some of the ups and downs? Maybe a losing streak here or there in conference play, and then bounce back with a winning streak. How proud are you of that? And then how does that adversity that you guys face during conference play help you come tournament time?
Well, I'm awfully proud of this team. Number one, we're really nothing's changed, y'all. We're a young, inexperienced basketball team. Our maturity, still is where it is and has been. I mean, we But I think what you've seen with this group, especially lately, is a team that's playing better. Our chemistry's better. I think we're getting it. Like Shay said, just the whole way to win, right? There's a way. Everybody wins a different way. Some teams going to try to beat you 100 to 90 and don't care about defense. Others are, going to try to do it a different way. And I think our way right now is really good. Another thing you ask about our success, and we're not fouling as much, y'all. We're not putting the other team on the free throw line, and yet we're playing really well defensively. Last 5 games, our point total defensively is, what's that say? Because I don't have my glasses.
Which one?
Yeah,
68.2.
that's what we're scoring. What's that say?
Yeah, 68.2 is what we're scoring. The other team's 55.2.
Yeah. So we're giving up 55 points a game in our last 5 games. And I'm always watching what we're doing in our last 5. I have that stat as well as our overall and our conference stats. And I think that tells you what you're doing currently. And we've done it against obviously some really good teams. What was it, 3 weeks ago, we're coming off of losing 3 in a row and the sky was falling. Well, we happened to lose to number 9 twice. We were in both games and just didn't finish it out here. And we let one get away at Oklahoma. Again, a very fine basketball team. But as I've said before, sometimes things happen or out of your control. So this team, I think the biggest thing I could say about this team and where we are right now in Big 12, I could kick myself. I hold myself completely responsible for allowing us to start off conference like we did, losing 2 games at home. I just, it's nobody to blame but me. And I hate that, because if we'd have taken care of business then, we'd be sitting here today tied for the lead in the Big 12. And so that being said, we're all accountable. I'm accountable. My kids have been accountable, and I'm proud of where they have gotten themselves to today. But we have a lot of season left. There's championships still to be won, and I want them to understand that and embrace that, because a lot of teams right now on February 25th, there ain't no chance for them. There is for us, and so I want us to embrace it. I want us to come to practice today and work hard. And get ready for a very, very tough game tomorrow night.
You guys have been pretty good against players that have the ability to really go off. Think of the 2 against Lee specifically, but someone like Lauren Hurd has that ability.
Yeah.
Is that something where you don't want that to happen, or you sometimes will say, well, if she gets hers, we want to keep the other 4?
Yeah, we're not a hey, let's let her get hers and we'll try to hold everybody else.
I know you don't let them, but
yeah,
you know what I'm
no,
saying.
I got it. The thing for us is, we're really focused on everybody's best players. And boy, the first time we played them, I thought we did a nice job. We understood what they wanted to do, how they wanted to do it. We understood how certain players need to do certain things to score. And I thought we took that away. And so we're going to need to do that again. I mean, she's a pro. It isn't one person's job. We've got, everybody's got a job to do with all these great ones to help and to put us in a position to defend them and put them in a position to where they're not able to score at will like they can. And, Lauren Hurd, I mean, they got a couple kids that are shooting the ball extremely well. They're running their offense. I'm telling you, I sit there and watch film last night over and over and over again, and I'm like, how do they lose the game? Like, how are they not? I mean, they've got big physical guards. They're big inside. Obviously, Hurd's a pro. I mean, they're doing some really good things, and if you're not careful, next thing you know, they're not going to be missing some of those shots. So we've got to do a good job. We've got to be ready to go, and I think our kids have really been locked in on the next opponent, what they want to do, how they want to do it.
Rori, I'm kind of curious, as a freshman, how did you kind of establish yourself as a leader, having your voice heard, having the older kids listen to this kid coming in? How did you, or is that something you're still kind of working on?
Definitely have a lot of room for improvement. When I came, the team was very open to just, you know, I mean, Coach Schaefer told me, like, I'm just going to have to be there and be ready to start being a leader while he's recruiting me. And at first I was like, wow, this is kind of a big deal. I'm not going to say I was nervous, but this is a challenge to be a freshman and, like, attempting to lead my team and, you know, I think I'm doing okay at it. But, I mean, I like doing what I do. I mean, I love being a point guard. And I like that my team makes it easy for me to do, you know, for me to lead. So, I mean, it is challenging, but I like it.
Shay, what makes Rori a good leader?
I think just watching the way she works, like, there's respect for that, like, just how hard she plays. She's never taking plays off, so just for me, like, watching her do that makes me want to play harder, makes me want to be up the line and all that. So, I mean, how she goes is how the team goes, and I think she's doing really good at that. So, I think just I have respect for her and her game, so makes it easy to listen.
Roy, do you ever sense frustration from the opponent when you guys are getting them out of defensively?
Completely. It starts with the point guards for like any team. So I am guarding the point guard a lot of the times, and you can just tell that if they can't get into their offense, you can just see all the frustration. And of course I don't see what's behind me because I am guarding the ball and the point guard, but I can just see how like it's like 15 seconds left in the shot clock and she's still dribbling the ball. Like there's no entry passes being made. So I mean, like Shay said, like it starts with me being on the ball, and if I'm going hard and putting pressure, they will too. And yes, I sense a lot of frustration.
Either of the players, Vic was very passionate earlier this week about his feelings about the crowds and kind of the lack of attendance. I'm kind of wondering from a player standpoint, how much do y'all want bigger crowds? And Shay, you've grown up around this program, you know what it's like when there's bigger crowds here. You know, has that been frustrating for you?
Yeah, I think we're all on his side with that. It's funny, like when we have away games, we're playing really well on the road, and like a lot of times though our away games have way more fans than we do at home, which like it's more fun when there's more fans. So a lot of times like the away games are more fun than the home games, which I don't think it should ever be like that. Obviously we love playing at home still, and there's our dedicated fans that we love to see. But yeah, I think just like it's really like the student section at away games is like always, like at Kansas State there was a lot of kids there, all with like matching shirts and stuff like that, and it makes it fun, like even though they're booing us when we're walking out, but like stuff like that, like it gets you going, it gets you like ready for the game, and it makes it fun.
Right.
Completely just, she basically said what I was thinking. Like playing away games is almost like a little bit more fun than playing at home. Just seeing them, like how the students come out and support. There was a lot of them at the K-State game. I noticed that too. I was like, wow. But yeah, we do appreciate the ones like, you know, the dedicated fans that do come. That's always well appreciated. But it'd be nice for us to be working as hard as we do, and how we play, like the way we play, like not 94 feet, like the whole game. I feel like that's so interesting and fun to watch. Like I feel like we do deserve a lot more people at our game. So.
Vic, to see a couple of pretty high-profile football players jump on the bandwagon on social media and say they're going to be there tomorrow night. I mean, you got to start somewhere. That's a pretty good spot for on campus, isn't it?
Yeah, I took such a bath after my comment earlier in the week that I tried to stay off social media. I had no clue that, you know, that was such a bad thing that I mentioned, but I got to be careful. You guys walk out of here and put it on, you know, whatever said. It's on Twitter before I can take a breath, and so, you know, I appreciate them, you know, doing that. We appreciate, you know, anyone that had a positive thing to say about that, because again, look, y'all, all I'm gonna say about it is this: if I don't fight for my kids, who is? I mean, that's my job. I love them to death. They work their tail off. They practice really hard. Terry from Horns Illustrated asked me, Vic, what do we not see that your kids do every day? And I told y'all, come to a practice. You know, come watch how hard they work in practice every day. They deserve, you know, they deserve way better. And so it's my job to fight for them. I'll fight for them. I didn't realize that it was such a hot topic, but it obviously was. By the time we landed in Manhattan, there was an issue. So it's fine. I can wear it. I'm gonna fight for my kids. They play their hearts out. So I appreciate that from anyone who will support them. And again, I've always said, y'all, when I took the job, you come one time, you'll be back. You know, I'll make your life miserable because now you're going to plan your life around women's basketball at Texas. And it won't be miserable. It'll be fun for you. You just plan your vacations and Big 12 tournament, SEC tournament in the future, and NCAA tournament. That's what our fans do. So, you know, I just want the best for my kids.
Or I kind of wonder, are you tired? I mean, this is, you know, about the time of the year the high school playoffs are kind of getting to that state range. You still have a long way to go in this season. How are you kind of keeping up with that, I guess, your stamina and getting used to a longer season?
I just got out of treatment, so going to that every day is definitely a lot of help. I wouldn't say, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's a little not 100% right now since we have had a long season, but definitely like just, you know, taking care of my body has helped a lot. I had to learn that starting from the beginning of the season. I didn't go to treatment as much. I didn't take care of my body as much because I never really did in high school either. But now, like, I'm in treatment every day, getting with Zach and Rosemary, our strength and conditioning coach and our trainer, and they're definitely like on that with me, making sure I do come in every day. But you know, if I do that and then come to practice and do harder practice, play harder practice, and the game should be easy as well. So.
Vic, when you have young players coming in, do y'all stress, hey, y'all need to do treatment, this is how you take care of yourself, or that's then you let them figure it out by themselves?
No, I've had to try to impart on them and teach them what an ice bath is, and you need to be living in there every day after every practice. It's just 8 minutes. That's 8 minutes that ain't very fun, but they've got to get in there to rejuvenate their bodies and rejuvenate their legs especially. And, you know, I think for both these kids are young. I think the other piece that I've become more aware of in today's world is just the mental piece. You know, Rori's, she's learning how to lead a team. At the same time, she's learning how to be a college point guard. Way different than being a high school point guard. The demands, the expectations, how she does things are way different than what she did in high school. And so the mental piece of that, you know, all this can be really drumming. She's in the, you know, in our business school here. Gosh, I'd hate to be that. Just not even be in athletics and just have to go over there and go to school. From an educational standpoint, the drain on me would probably be way more than I could handle. So, you know, it's I think I've become a little bit more cognizant of that, you know, with the mental health of our student athletes. And again, I think that can be as taxing as anything. And, you know, I ask them, I walk down there every day, I go, hey, how you feeling? How your legs? You know, because I just want to know. If I was to walk down to 3 of them and all 3 of them said, man, Coach, my legs are killing me, I'd probably step back and make some changes that day. Because I trust them, number one, that they be honest. I don't think they're trying to get out of practice. You know, there's days I feel tired and I ain't played a minute. You know, so if I'm that way, you know, how are my players feeling? And again, I'm not 18 either, so I get that. But at the same time, you know, there's a fine line in my mind between, okay, we got to practice and get better. We got to practice and prepare. And at the same time, you know what? Maybe a little less of this today, or maybe none of this today, or, you know, might be better treatment than anything else we can do. So, you know, as I'm getting older, it's hard to change, you know, my creature habits because they've worked, you know, they want. But at the same time, I think you've got to stay in tune with your players. And so it's just a real fine line, for sure.
Shay, what's tougher, basketball practice or is this
a toss-up. Like yesterday, I had an accounting exam, so that was a little tougher than practice was. But today I didn't have class, so practice will probably be. But it's a lot. I mean, it's a balancing act for sure. But I enjoy both things, so yeah.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
praise the Lord.
Thank
Thank
you.
y'all.
Thank y'all.